Now let's look at some shocker from Supreme Court. For some of you that don't know that the Supreme Court is about to send a true shocker to the APC. But just like I said, we are not expecting much from the Supreme Court anytime, any soon. We're not expecting magic. We're not expecting a miracle. They may end up doing the same thing that they have done to P2B in the court. But here's the fact: Supreme Court of Nigeria will go the way of substantive justice, as they always do, in determining electoral petitions. That's number one. Substantive justice is an election petition ensures a fair and thorough examination of claims. So there's going to be a fair and thorough explanation of claims. You see, all I know is that I have done enough job that I'm supposed to do, as every true one that wants Nigeria is to put an end to some kind of folks on the retarded motions. And that's where the big news comes from. You see, we're expecting a thorough examination of claims, applying the law and democratic principles to safeguard the integrity of the electoral process and uphold the rights of all involved parties. We cannot continue to live in lies, because if we continue to live in lies, then more mistakes will be made with no time. So number three is that the Presidential Election Petition Council is, in their judgment, clearly and rigidly went the way of only procedural justice, aka technicalities. So in this point, one thing is common, that the Supreme Court will do a better job. So it's going to be a shocker. It's either they are going to shock us that are waiting for them, or they are going to end up shocking themselves. But one thing is going to happen: there will be a shock. That's one thing that must happen. There is definitely going to be a shock. And when that shocks unravel itself, everybody will rest. Tinubu will rest, and Labour Party will rest, and Nigerians will rest. So either way, one or two things must definitely play out. Now, as in two above, while procedural justice in an election petition emphasizes fairness and transparency in the legal process, ensuring adherence to established procedures, substantive justice, on the other hand, focuses on equitable outcomes by considering the merit of the case, relevant laws, and democratic principles, aiming to uphold the integrity of the electoral process and protect the rights of all involved parties. So, the Supreme Court will consider the merit of the case, weighing all the relevant evidences before it, and then making decision based on facts and evidences in the case before it. They will not go to the way of procedural technicalities as the Presidential Election Petition Council clearly did. Now, somebody asks, if I may get you right, the proceedings of the verdict will lie upon the weight of the substantial evidence and certify witness of the truth of the matter. I am a layman, not too good at your submission here. Break it into pieces. So you are right, all the evidences will be considered and decision taken based on their weight. So it's not going to be game as usual, where a judge will come out and just bring one side of the evidence and make the whole judgment. It's going to be the weight of the evidence And of course, Labour Party has evidence. But one thing I want to say is here. One thing is you know, very, very important here that we should all note is this, that we have seen the way the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal have destroyed the Nigerian constitution. Then how should we believe that these same people, how do we believe that these same people will just wake up one day and begin to do a kind of magic? How do we have that kind of belief? That a magic will just wake up one morning to one kind of magic. That's the question we are going to ask. We saw what the judges did. So are you sure that Tinubu is not going to do the same thing he did with the Presidential Election Tribunal? That is the point. So as we push through to get justice, let's all equally understand that we cannot be emotional, but we have to get our facts straight. And let's not forget that P2B has, in his own end, shaking the table again and again. He said Chief Bola Tinubu still owes Nigerians and the world a simple obligation, and I respectfully call on him to immediately perform a simple task: reintroduce himself, let the world know his name, nationality, place of birth, parentage, primary and secondary schools he attended with dates, as well as the actual universities he attended and certificate obtained. He should also indicate where and when he did his NYSC, and if at any time he had a change of name. That's not a crime. A very simple thing. So you can see that P2B in his own end is on Tinubu's neck. We cannot continue to tell ourselves lies. We can't. I just want to be honest with each and every one of you. If we want Nigeria to move forward, we cannot continue to tell ourselves lies. There must be a room where everybody must consider the truth and nothing but the truth. Obviously, enough of these lies, enough of trying to manipulate someone or do one or two things. Enough is enough. We need to do the needful immediately. Thanks for supporting the Future News. Peace.